Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Division 3. Luca's back again. I know you thought you got rid of him. You weren't going to have to listen to him, but he's back for another evening. But this time, it's not Yosh. I am joined by the lovely Valàar. I hope I'm saying that right. I am historically incompetent when it comes to any form of European pronunciation. How are you doing today, Valàar?
Hello, I am doing wonderful. How about you?
I have had a long day, and I am ready for an exciting evening. We've got two fantastic teams here today. We have got Gank Me Baby one more time going up against Nordlænningan, and that should be starting in about 30 seconds. There's just enough time for Valàar to look at those map drafting. We have had Gank Me Baby take out Braxis Holdout and Battlefield of Eternity.
Not fans of two-lane maps, huh?
Not a fan of a two-lane map, indeed.
Are they expecting... I think it's a very good call to make, actually, against Nordlænningan. I've been casting them a lot this season, and I think one of their biggest weakness is that they're not that good at macro, so probably removing two-lane maps against them is probably a good call, because if you force them to have to soak lanes, they might fall behind on XP.
Fair enough. Maybe a little bit too aggro there. The other side, Nordlænningan have taken out Garden and Tomb. Garden, a very big map for soaking, and Tomb, of course, very rotation heavy. But that brings us to Infernal Shrines. And if, everyone else is ready, I'm sure we will be kicking off in Infernal Shrines very soon. I love a little bit of Infernal Shrines. Yosh was saying yesterday it's a boring map, but I mean, that is the opinion of a caster who doesn't make it into the Div 3 lineup.
I don't know why people call Shrine a boring map. It's fun. You get a lot of rolling on the shrines, so you have to actually fight the opponent, and you don't necessarily need to run around and do other stuff on the map. It's a good map to start things off.
It's a nice, you get a nice measure for how the teams are gonna try and play, and I feel like there's a wide range of heroes that become pickable on Infernal Shrines that maybe don't do enough macro tasks for the other maps, but because you're moving in a 4-man so often, everyone can kind of pick up a little bit of the macro here and there. You see a lot more things like Probius, Kel'Thuzad, Gul'dan, things that you would never pick on a Cursed Hollow come out to play.
I mean, honestly, Gul'dan on Cursed, I don't... It's
Fair
not
enough.
So bad, is it?
Valàar likes Gul'dan. I apologize. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. All the heroes that you mentioned have fantastic wave clear, so...
Yeah, it's true. I did pick 3 with wave clear. It's early on. I suppose that's what my brain was doing. Garrosh ban. He's annoying, isn't he? I mean...
Yeah, and it's one of Oldeness's main heroes on the side of Nordlænningan, so it's usually it's a very common ban against him.
I think that makes a lot of sense. It requires very tight play to play against the Garrosh, and although the hero is not easy, with a single click he can kind of ruin your team's plans. So it kind of takes some comfort away, makes the game maybe a bit more comfortable for Gank Me Baby one more time instead. But the Maiev ban in response, I think, makes a lot of sense. She's one of those heroes that if you execute her well, she can seriously turn fights.
Yeah, she's probably one of the best heroes in the game. It's just very difficult to play, and not a lot of people play it, especially in lower divisions. So I think it's definitely a good ban against anybody that plays her.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense, right? And because she's not quite difficult to play, you might not be as practiced playing against her as you might some of the more common staple power picks like a Blaze or a Johanna, which are still very strong and very prevalent. But
and speaking of Johanna, here it is, first pick for Oldeness.
Lots of great wave clear on the map. He'd had his main man taken away from him, so he's gonna pick up that Johanna. Very draft flexible. Pretty much.
But also very punishable as well. Her early game before level 10 is not the best, and even after that she cannot really play aggressively when her blessed shield is on cooldown, so maybe we can look to pick heroes that punish that. Instead we have Auriel.
I think Auriel is very, very hot right now. I don't actually think she got a lot better, but I think people remembered she existed, and there's some people...
Yeah, I think that's mostly it.
Right?
Probably she got bet. Go ahead.
Or infinite hope, right? You can theoretically sustain a fight forever. You've got decent safety as well. The Aegis isn't a cleanse, but sometimes it behaves like a cleanse, right? Like, she's got most of a good kit. I can see why she's attractive.
Yeah, and Nordlænningan actually answering with both damage dealers in 2-3, and it's Chromie Hanzo, so that screams pick Genji and murder me. We'll see if
Does a little bit. Well, they could ban the Genji.
they probably have to now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Hanzo Chromie style, you see it a lot around this elo. I think, or maybe a lot is harsh, but the ability, it's very punishing for your opponents if they step up and if they are uncertain, right? There's a lot of potential poke. The opposing tank has to be really clean. If they kind of poke their head into a bush before their team's ready, they can lose a third half of their health bar over nothing. And then both Arrow and Loop are really good tools of engage. So as you were saying, Johanna, solo engaged with that shield, when it's gone, it's done. But Hanzo and Chromie give a bit more complexity to the fight. So,
and here's the Genji ban.
There you go. That's it definitely felt needed, didn't it? But maybe something more exciting. We could see triple melee with something coming in as well as that Hogger to dive it.
I don't think triple melee is good here, because the problem with triple melee is obviously you have 3 melee, so you don't have a lot of range, and Chromie Hanzo will outrange you. So I think triple melee is a good way to get poked out of the game here. But any sort of dive, mobility, like a Tracer or something, can actually bully these two quite a lot. Diablo fasted. That's nice. I mean, doesn't really tell a whole lot. Diablo will be very hard to kill by 2 mages. And Fasted is always a solid pick, and it doesn't really tell anything about the last one, right? We can still pick dive.
Yeah, we could still go Tracer, or we could go something far more rigid and use the Gust Appeal if it gets in danger, right? You could pick probably a Gul'dan still in that slot, although you might get outranged, something similar to that. We're going to see Rhaegar Urel as our final 2 picks. My game had a 2-second lag there between the Urel and the audio. I got really scared of that.
Yeah, Urel is Teguten's main hero, so like he's going for comfort, and I mean it's a very strong hero.
It's going to disrupt Oriel. It can make Diablo's engages more difficult if it's playing from the front, although my experience is Urel players tend to play less front to back and more over the walls and behind the enemies. It can be very nice with Loop, the knockback, and it is going to be triple melee.
It is triple melee, okay. I don't like it.
I did have the leap in my head.
You have the leap.
I think...
Although, I mean, I guess like if you leak the backline, who kills them though? I don't think Sonya will have the damage to 100 to 0 them.
Hinterland's Blast.
So I guess it's...
Hinterland's Blast kills.
Oh, Hinterland Blast, that's true. Damn, that Zeus will here and there, out of there, you know?
Oh, damn, he's right. I've been outcooked, chat. I've been outcooked.
Maybe worth mentioning is that Nordlænningan is also not playing with their usual support. Usually it's Camshell, but she's not here. And Zeus is subbing in, and Babyuse is going from usually plays flex or offlane, and now is on support. So we'll see how that one works out for him.
No, fair enough. Always a bit of a shame when you can't get everyone together for the final, but I'm sure we'll see a fantastic showing either way, as we are here and we are ready for map number 1.
And yeah, Sonya is going W build, so it's definitely going to be leap, and I try to one-shots. I mean, Hogger can help, right? With like, I don't really know what ult is going to be, but either way, he can actually, like, he has scary one-shot potential as well.
I'm sure that definitely Hogger will be helping out here. If you haven't missed our draft, we've got 2 fantastic teams coming up here on the blue side. Gank me, baby, one more time. Hogger being played by Flesh. We've got Asgore played by Sonya. Zonk on that Diablo, Shady on the Oriel, and Warcraft 3 Mouse on that Faustad.
And on the red side, we have Nordlænningan featuring Zeus on Chromie, Oldeness on Johanna, Njin on Hanzo, Bibitius on the Rhaegar, and Seguten on his Irel.
Yeah, some fantastic action that we should see in this game. I do think I agree with your analysis that the poke is going to be very difficult for our blue team to overcome, but shrines do kind of force your team to step up a bit. We might see that they're not quite as disciplined as they need to be, and I think if we get a leap and a Hogger on top of anything, we might see APOC come out, follow up that leap as well. There's definitely a lot of lockdown and some kill potential here.
There is scary dive on the blue side, that's true. The only thing that I'm wondering about is this Faustad actually, because he doesn't do as much good in a full dive scenario. He's not that good at following up. He's going for AA build, which means he's probably going to be side laning a lot, which it shouldn't be because we have a double front line. Maybe he wanted to go auto Q build this game actually.
I think
For
I
extra
agree that
bursts.
Q might have been helpful, but the AA is going to allow him to put a lot of pressure. It's a bit of a shame that it's into a Ural, right? I think a lot of offlaners might have felt more unhappy.
And more problematic is the Johanna actually, who would just be able to blind him.
Yes.
And it kind of clashes with the rest of his team style where AA Fastad, oh he's almost dead by the way, but AA Fastad is a very front to back style where you hit the tank until the tank cannot play anymore. While like his team is definitely a team that will try to dive this fragile backline on the side of Nordlænningan.
No, I definitely agree. I think that maybe that disconnect will be felt a little bit, but you saw early the red team have got this slight preference at level 1. Triple melee never feels quite as good at the start of the game, and with the Diablo not scaled yet as well, they just couldn't quite fight for that camp. I think starting it might have been a little bit greedy, albeit statement of intent. Nice
Maybe Maybe they expected better because Hogger on camp is always difficult to contest, but he wasn't able to, like, in this layout, he can't really keep the spin up forever, right? So he's actually a lot easier to contest.
I do think the chunk on the Falstad as well, right at the start, probably made that fight a lot more complicated. If he's still able to stand up and dish out damage, maybe they can stay a little bit longer. But as it stands, not a huge outcome either way, just a nice little win and a bit of momentum to begin this game for Nordlænningan. Can they carry on and keep taking that forwards? We're seeing the camps both capped a little bit late, but probably not late enough that we're going to matter.
Yeah, if both teams are late, nobody is late.
We do see, though, that Sonya is going to be able to prep this wave, whereas the red team haven't. So that is, I think, a camp clash that could be won, unless she gets
And Segatan seems to have no intention to defend, to answer this top push. So.
This is the true Ural plan. Jump in. Macro is for nerds.
In the meantime, Hogger is just getting the infinite spin, and nice combo onto BB will get a kill. Segatan, does he have leap? He does not, it seems. But the time jump from Zeus will keep him safe. Oh, yo, in Zonk actually, nice scatter from Jin. Takes out the Diablo.
Yeah, really nice counter kill there. Diablo not able to get that spell shield up with enough safety for the poke, as Hogger is back to spinning, and Jin gotta be really careful here.
They don't really have the damage to stop this Hogger from spinning infinitely like this. Never mind, he just dies as the gap recurs.
That is an aggressive caster curse coming out there on the Hogger, but they're able to trade it for the Ural. I do think that that's an interesting point there, that they don't seem in this early fight to be able to handle that Hogger. I don't think it's draft, I think it's positional, right? We're seeing both the Rhaegar and the Hanzo take a huge amount of the spin that we saw was coming, right? But it's interesting to see the Diablo, Hogger, and Oriole all with those stuns into a wall, where if any one of them finds a good stun, all three of their buttons are really good.
Also, something worth mentioning is that Hanzo is full W build, he did not go Q on level 4, which means that his Shrine Clear is actually going to be pretty weak before he gets level 16 and those Spears, which he might not go actually, he will probably go percent HP on 16. So...
yeah, it looks like it's trying to deal with what you saw in draft, right? The survivability of Diablo, who has actually not opted for the W build, but is instead going for the higher damage style. So he definitely he will die if Hanzo gets that damage dished onto him.
But Hanzo will also die if Diablo gets his hands on him.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely the good choice to go Q build here.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Chromie is not loop. I repeat, Chromie is not loop. I don't really know why, because I think forcing the Aegis with loop every time, and then you have Blessed Shield and Hanzo Arrow, seems like a pretty smart choice to me.
It is also the build that more traditionally accompanies loop, isn't it?
Yep.
You haven't got any of the slowing sands support. Maybe, I mean, Shrines has really tight chokes around the objective, right? The sands can get a massive amount of value. If their Hanzo's also teched out for trying to blow up that Diablo, maybe they're hoping that he's going to poke his nose somewhere that he shouldn't and get really heavily punished for it. I think it could definitely get some value. The Ural as well plays around Sands really nicely with the knockback into it.
And I guess the Sonya is the most likely target for Sands, because she's the only one that actually has a tough time getting out of it. Hogger can spin, and Fastad can dash. And Oriole should not be in range.
well, should and would are two different statements there. As we saw APOC get used, but Diablo just didn't quite have the Q range. Maybe Zonk's still playing in 2019 when Diablo's Q was screen and a half. But the red team now know APOC's gone. They're coming back. They're going to be able to bully them off a camp.
Also, there is no Hanzo arrow. It's a Dragon Strike coming in from Jhin. And we have Shockwave on Hogger, which I like.
I like the Shockwave. I guess the Strike, you could in theory strike your teammate who you think is the dive target.
Here is Sonya stuck in the sand. She has to leap out. Blessed Shield onto Hogger. Does he have E? No, he does not. He gets the Aegis, but I don't know. I think that kills him, right? The Shockwave is not big enough, and Seguton is just happy to tank everything with the ZRL. Does not get the hammer off on time, but it doesn't matter. Zeus snipes the Falstad with a W, and that's going to be 2 quick kills for Nordlænningan.
Yeah, very nicely lined up there by the Chromie and the Hanzo. So much damage that they can put out, and this is such a difficult game to play AA Falstad. I think everything on the enemy team just makes your life hard. So I feel his pain.
And it's also a difficult game for the Sonya, right? We could see at the beginning of the fight that she got Chromie just pressed slowing stands on her, and she had to leap out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's even a game where you will see the Sonya attack into the level 13 spear that always pulls you, so she can get out of slowing stands without having to leap.
It seems like it should be a good idea. The Hogger's got himself really nice set up. Here comes the APOC. Chromie's going to get caught. The leap on top of the APOC is going to put a lot of damage out. She's hiding out in that trap, but not for long.
That was a very nice engage, especially since Chromie had the ice block and did not use it in time to dodge like the CC chain.
Yeah, I suppose that theoretically she shouldn't be able to get APOC and leap, right? In this case, she got neither, which is suboptimal. But if you see the APOC combo and you put up your time trap, the rest of your team probably still has to run away, and Sonya can still leap you after you come out. So maybe she was to hold it till all the buttons were down, but I don't know.
Maybe that sounds very hopeful. I don't know where. I don't remember where the Rhaegar was though, because the fact that
he got caught in the APOC as well, I think.
Okay, that explains it. That's unfortunate. Don't looking for a flank onto Oldeness. Did not find it. Maybe we see a leap though. In 1 second it's up, and Jhin is very far forward. Here it comes, but the gust a bit unfortunate. And the Hanzo gets out of there.
They
with
did
the
still
help
get
of
the
Ancestral
stun.
and Clans.
Yeah, they did still get the stun with the gust, but the angle just wasn't quite right. I think they were trying to get them past the fort tower, and instead they kind of get them into the gate, right? But if he waits a little bit, he can walk a pixel or two further right and get the angle that he needs. It's very nearly incredibly cute, right? The line between saving your opponents and watching them all die in front of you is very narrow, as Flesh has been abandoned here.
Yes, Flesh is going to go down, but that's the mid forts going to gank me baby one more time. I think Nordlænningan is fine with this though, because it's the mid fort, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's definitely not that high value for them. The Urel should be able to soak really safely anywhere on the map, even without having that building. Obviously, I mean, you know, it's a thing lost, but we probably won't see much contest, and you can get to a well from top in the mid shrine and bottom in the bot shrines. It's not that bad.
With level 13, we see that Sonya still went for the move speed on level 13, so no spear to get out of sands.
Just run faster.
Just run faster.
Yeah.
And Falstad has hit his power spike. He got the talent that gives him % HP damage on his auto attacks, which is where, like the moment where auto attack Falstad starts to truly hit its stride.
Yeah, no, it's definitely what you're looking for. That 1.5 or 2%, depending on the situation. It's a lot.
It's a lot, especially in synergy with the level 1 that gives him extra basic attack speed when you activate it. You can really shred the front line with that. Hogger has a very good flank. I think Jhin is caught. Do we have clans? Yes, fantastic clans by Bichus. Perfect.
Really nice shield as well.
And I mean, Aurea is in very big trouble here. She has to Aegis herself, but she's still very low. Seguton is gunning for her, gets CC chain, but barely manages to get his ult off. Ancestral coming in as well from Rhaegar. And in the end, nobody dies.
Yeah, they engage at the beginning, denied by the cleanse, and then the shield coming out to stop the follow-up was very nicely done by the red team, and then that Diablo controlling the fight, making sure that his Oriole was able to walk away. I'm not entirely sure how she got out there.
I think the Gust also saved her ass a bit, because it pushed away the Hanzo and I believe the Chromie as well. So nobody was actually in range to keep hitting her out of the Aegis. Hanzo wasn't able to press his ult as well. Maybe he got cancelled by the Gust, or just was not in range anymore.
Yeah, it's difficult. You've got to kind of read the fight well if you're going to get a good Dragon Strike off. It's not an ult that you can just kind of react with, right? You have to know or have a plan before. It takes so long to actually come out and into effect that you can be in trouble. Zonk was looking for someone down here. Is he going to get found out himself? No, he's going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, probably Nordlænningan don't really want to look for a fight right now. They're barely off of 16. Okay, look at it. We do have the piercing arrows on Hanzo.
Yeah, so we're not actually going to see that percentage damage come out. I think we need to stop making predictions. It's going poorly for us.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's completely fine to have piercing arrows, to be honest, because it just gives them a lot of more shrine control. Which so far they haven't really been able to get any shrine, so.
It's true. Lots of chunk on the Diablo there is a nice start, but the Hogger has already taken half of the shine for his team just by sort of spinning back and forward on it. The red team have to either step up for a fight or get these frontliners off, but we're going to see the Gust.
Not good.
It was so close, but that leap might be big enough.
Pretty big though. Yeah, and Zeus actually goes down. Probably the Sonya is doomed. Ah, never mind. Aegis. Was still close though. Very good scatter from Jin, but not good enough. 2 for 0.
I think what Warcraft 3 Mouth is looking for there is the Gust into the wall, so Diablo can follow with the Q, and it's a pixel away from working, right?
Yeah.
He gets scammed, I reckon, by the terrain, but at the end of the day, the Gust generates the misposition and they get the double kill. So I think.
Yeah, the Sonya leap was massive, and I guess Chromie used ice blocks somewhere at some point. I don't really know, because she did not ice block the leap, that's for sure.
Yeah. It was over a wall. Maybe she's not fully sighted to it. I'm not entirely sure. Because it is like, it's a tough one to catch if it's coming from Vogue.
But also something to point out is that Zeus does not really usually play Ice Block on Chromie. He literally plays any other talent. So it might be just him not used to pressing Ice Block at the right time, because he's not used to this talent.
Oh, his Q spell power 16. It's not reflective of how the fights have been going, is it?
It's a blast from the past. It used to be the meta pick on Chromie, but it has been nerfed a bit, I believe.
Yeah, it's still okay, I think, if you're actually gonna hit 7 Qs in a fight, but I don't think he's been hitting more than 3 Qs before the fights are mostly done.
Yeah, the fights are very quick.
Ureldo might have baited out a really nice fight here for her team. She's taking a lot of the engage right now. The shield is big. The Dragon Strike's really big as well.
Dragon Strike gets the Aegis out.
And it's
halfway goes wide.
They couldn't do anything with the split Sonya though, and she's been able to keep her leap, and now look at them charging forward. They're just going to go for Johanna.
Cleanse, but it's late, and Aldonus goes down. Here comes the leap, hits 2 backliners. I think, the Beaches is probably dead. Alt R though. Gets himself out actually.
Really good knockback from Urel in there to make the space, and then the classic Hanzo, I can see a wall somewhere on my screen, so I'm just going to teleport to the opposite side of it.
Still, that's a 2 levels lead for Gank maybe one more time. They will probably get the next Punisher uncontested.
2 minutes to the shrine. I don't think they're going to have 20. Well, minute and 15 to announcement. I don't think they're going to get 20 anywhere near that, are they? I do feel a bit for Rhaegar. If you haven't played much cleanse into Diablo, Diablo's E is only cleansable basically before he's cast it. As soon as he starts flipping you, it doesn't matter how unstoppable you become, you still end up on the other side of Diablo. And he did kind of get that cleanse almost the frame after Diablo started picking him up, so
and to his credit, his cleanses this game have been pretty good.
And Rhaegar's cleanse range is not big. It's definitely a scam.
We have piercing sands on Chromie. It's more shrine control.
I guess also if you're playing Shifting Sands, you kind of have to play Piercing Sands, right? As Diablo's really deep. The Blade Shield comes out. Oh, on the Aegis. Oh, the Aegis is armor though. Yeah, they're never killing after that.
Yeah, but he was out of the Dragon Strike either way, so here comes the leap into Gust, and that's a Hanzo that completely disappears. Flash looking maybe for stun onto the wall. Does not really find any more kills. Higutan, he was 0.5 seconds out of his ult. Does get the Sonya back though.
Yeah.
But the level 20 on the of the Sands, the Chromie upgrade was buffed recently, and it's very good actually now. So she could have definitely gone for this one.
This is true. Diablo here is taking a lot of punishment. His spell shields run out. Okay, I'm being hopeful. I'm suffering the hopium. They're gonna lose top keep. They gotta go stop that. Can you hold the Punisher if you save your keep? Yeah, probably. They have 20s, right, for the defense?
Yeah, they don't have a keep on bottom, so it's actually going to be very rough to defend.
They can drag it mid. To be honest, there's so much CC from that blue team that having the Punisher initiate for them is maybe massive.
Yep. If you manage to bait out the Cleanse or Johanna D with the Punisher, then all of them are killable afterwards.
They're going to try and fight before. Urel's not quite back yet, but Johanna's just walking into this choke.
Yeah, Sonya is also just respawning, so it's not the end of the world. Here comes the Blessed Shield onto Hogger, who is very far from his Oriel. The Gust will actually save the Hogger's life, and Olderness is the one in trouble now. Also, Flesh just runs in and finds a 4-man Shockwave. So that was something.
Really getting, yeah, no, it's very, very big shockwave in the end. Unfortunately, the shrine is going to get capped here now. Nordling had a nice sort of last grasp fight here, but they have not been able to put it together. And I think as two are already dead, Diablo's going in on this Chromie. Zonk has abandoned his team a little bit.
Chromie cancelled her own Q. Oh, she doesn't get the snipe in the end, but Diablo respawns. I mean, this game will just end right now.
No,
there is no way.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Look at the scouters. He's going to 1v9 in this, Hanzo. I guess Sigurdsson is here as well. Sonya's dead?
Sonya gets absolutely blasted, but so does Urel.
It's not enough. It's nice to hope.
We still have next Punisher jump, and Hanzo disappears. Should be, and okay, he jumps out.
Yeah, no jump now on Hanzo for the Punisher, and that is
go.
Good night and Jin, and a strong showing, I think, from Nordling. But in the end, just the potency of the engage from Gank Me Baby was enough, right? Got them through. I think they played very, very fast and very well.
Yep. Nordlænningan definitely struggling, like having a team that's very diveable and struggling to play around it into such aggression coming in from this Hogger Sonya. And I want to highlight Flesh's Hogger was an absolute headache for them to deal with, so I wouldn't be surprised if they banned it for future games.
It's definitely a map where Hogger's going to get a lot of value. I don't know, I find sometimes with Hogger players, you see that they know how to play some maps and not others, and then you just kind of start gambling. Am I gonna let him play Hogger on a map where I don't think he knows how to spin, or am I gonna not gamble and just get rid of this thing? Because you're not wrong. He played it very well.
Yeah, I think his mechanics and combos were completely on point. And that last play at the end, where he was 1 HP and still decided to spin forward to find a 4-man Shockwave, I thought for sure he was going to die there.
Mm-hmm. But then, like, if he does die and he doesn't find the Shockwave, and then he loses the shot, or they don't end, we look at him and we go, "Why are you doing this? Don't play Hogger." It's such a fine margin, you know.
I have a feeling that maybe Nordlænningan could still have killed them, killed him here. They just probably did not expect him to go forward.
It's you don't get a lot of time to react to Hogger once he's spinning. You need to be very on it, right? Very quick. But I think a very close game, if we're honest. I think two very different styles. Gank Me Baby looking very aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Nordling try and do this style again, right? I don't think Hanzo Chromie is necessarily their bread and butter. I think that I gave it a go, and it hasn't really worked for them. And I think part of that, you were saying they've got a sub. I think this draft put a lot of pressure on the off-roll support, right? The cleanse and the ancestral has to be on point, and he played very
especially
well.
on the Rhaegar,
But
which is not like for cleanses.
Exactly right. This is like if you look at their 5 heroes, I think the Rhaegar has the hardest game here. And if you know you've got a player off roll, you don't want him to have the hardest job. So I'd like to see them maybe switch it up, look to play something that's a little bit more putting the pressure on someone else in their team, right? Let someone who's on roll carry, and let the person who's subbing just like keep being solid and have that be enough. But maybe that's really smart from Gank, baby.
I still think the draft has strong points. I just think that they made a mistake by showing their hand so early. By picking the 2 damage dealers in 2 and 3, they just announced very loudly that they're very, like, especially with the Johanna as the tank, they just like basically broadcasted to the entire lobby that they were going to be very weak to dive. And I feel like if you can have a comp that's very weak to dive, but you want to kind of keep the second damage dealer as your last pick, so the enemy doesn't necessarily know that your comp will be weak to dive until it's very deep into the draft.
You're kind of hoping that they're going to pick more not dive heroes than just the oil, right? That maybe you'll get a bit further into the draft and you'll see something like a Junkrat come up before you show that, aha,
yeah, exactly.
we were never coming anywhere near you.
Make the Diablo pick a bit more hesitant as well, right? If you have only, for example, the Chromie picked early, and there's still the opportunity
on the
to
table
go.
there, right? Do you want to play
Yeah,
Diablo with Hanzo Tychus? Yeah. No, definitely.
Like,
well, teams have sorted out a map for us. We've had first pick taken up by our Nordlænningan, and so Gagny baby have taken us to Cursed Hollow. I need to stop saying that team name because I know I'm not getting it right. We do our best. We do our best, don't we? You got to have the thing. You got to add value somehow, and my way is not being able to say words.
I like this. I like this name. The name you've given them. I think. I think they should change.
They should. That's what they're called. They should clip it and just play it at the start of everything. Yeah, no.
Especially since the other Norwegian team is the Norweaklings, so we can have like the Norweaklings and the Nordlænningan, and I think it's perfect.
But it's look at that. No, so one, I think we kind of encapsulated it a little bit, but if you could give one short piece of feedback for them in their draft this time, is there anything other than just don't pick both assassins in 2-3?
I honestly don't pick both assassins in 2-3 is a very easy piece of advice. The other is that if your team is weak to dive, you might want to try to pick heroes that fix it. Like offlane will not matter that much, but having, for example, the Brightwing instead of this Rhaegar can already make dive a bit harder with the AoE cleanse and the polymorph.
Also, if we're polymorphing a Sonya stuck in sands, she's not leaping out anymore.
She's not going anywhere.
And
polymorph can very much annoy Hogger as well. Like Shockwave is very cancelable. Like if you get a polymorph and cancel the Hogger when he spins in to try and shockwave people, you might just completely ruin his engage and get a kill as a result.
Yeah, no, definitely. But then, like we said, if it's an off-roll, maybe Brightwing isn't comfortable.
Yeah,
maybe it's not quite as much of an option as we would hope. Or maybe, they're not used to suggesting that, right? Just because you can play the hero in the spot doesn't mean you're used to noticing the hero that fits. I think that sometimes the thing we overlook a bit. Oh dear, they're already trying to trade players. It's only been one map.
Huh.
Looks like our teams are pretty much ready to go. We've been sitting here in this lobby. Cursed. What are your feelings about Cursed Hollow? I feel like it's kind of, it feels a bit vanilla at times, but we see more and more maps that are very focused around single team objectives that got added over the years. And Cursed Hollow has this kind of nice, more open feel to it, where you can send people to go and do different jobs, and you don't actually have to talk to each other and be near each other for large periods of time.
Yeah, it's actually going to be a very. I'm very interested to see how Nordlænningan is going to navigate this one, because we know that they like to group as 5 and look for brawls, but on this map it's a lot harder to find something to fight over. And it's also a lot harder to group as 5 without losing like infinity experience because the lanes are so far apart.
Just play Vikings.
Just play Vikings. That's right.
Basically Norway, right? The Vikings.
Basically Norway. Exactly, yeah. Certified Norwegians.
That's the plan. I'm sure they're all born Vikings players. That's part of being Norwegian.
Indeed.
Wow, that is a rapid 3-2-1 coming out from Smokey here as we are going to join us in this second. Cursed Hollow. 1-0 to Gank me, baby, but very tight contest. I think we will definitely see this sway forward and back again. What have we got in store here?
First on this map, the Falstad stock will go way up, and I think Mouse did a pretty good job on the Falstad late game, so maybe Nordlænningan will not be too happy to see it again. Maybe
I think also
even more
his
into the
style
ban.
fits this map better, right? We didn't see the sort of mage stat approach of stand somewhere useful, get massive blow up with 1 Q, and then wait until you've got Q back. He wanted to get involved, and I think that works a lot better on the more open maps where you're brawling a lot more.
Yeah, especially because since he's going to actually be side laning a lot as Falstad, like he will get not only decent stacks on his level 1 quest, but like auto attack build Falstad is very good in 1v1 where you can just pop the attack speed and drill down your opponent. And it's going to be very easy for him to find 1v1 over occasions on a big map like Cursed Hollow.
Unsurprisingly, not a lot of variation in the bans yet. The teams know what they don't want to play against. It will be interesting to see sort of who blinks first. Obviously, someone has to lose every game, and eventually you have to ask the question, was that worse than what we're banning? And it might be that no one ever thinks it is. Maybe Garrosh might have permanently excluded. I wouldn't be surprised if those two don't change, but adaptation in the second slot, we have seen the Falstad stock is gone up.
That being said, the Haka is also a hero. It's definitely one of the heroes of all times, and I don't think Nordlænningan plays a lot. I know Bibichus does, but he's playing support right now, so maybe with some role swapping.
Oh dear, that's what your conversation you want to have during first pick. Do you mind if I just take this to Hucker and someone else goes to heal? I'm sure you'll work it out.
Yeah, I mean, Zeus can heal. And then Alden's damages and Sigurd tanks. I got it all figured out.
Look at that. The cook is real. Valàar getting banned out here as well. I don't tend to find Cursed as my favorite Valàar map.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's a very macro heavy map and Valàar loves to roll.
She just wants to shoot people.
Yeah, I think if you pick Valàar on Cursed Hollow, you maybe wanted Sylvanas instead.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Junkrat though is very, very annoying, and we talked a bit about Garrosh as that like scam. Junkrat's very good at absolutely ruining your opponent's day without having to do very much himself, right?
That does give up the Dehaka. Do they pick it now or do they just not play it?
Very interesting to see, won't it? Bribing in Sonya.
That is not what I had on my bingo card.
I mean, I guess it got some big leaps last game. It did work.
We can leave the Junkrat again. He is really vulnerable to it.
Yeah, but then sort of the counter argument to what we said last time. We've shown this Sonya very early. We could just now not pick any more leap targets, although you can leap an Anduin, to be fair.
Yeah, actually it's kind of funny, right? You can try to bait the Anduin pull and then leap the Anduin and get the 2-man leap for free.
One of my favorite things to run for a long time was Sunder into Anduin with a Hanzo, and you just Sunder anything, and the Anduin panics and grips, and the arrow just lines on the Anduin as soon as you hit Sunder, and you land this beautiful. It was great fun for a while, and then they banned my Thrall again, and they should stop doing that, right? Public announcement: forget this game. Stop banning. He's green and he's mine, and I like him. I like this UL ban.
Yeah, it's definitely comfort for Sigurd, although you might just lock Leoric and be very happy.
I think if Leo, though, definitely doesn't feel as good as Urel on Cursed.
I think Diablo is a good ban.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, I think Leoric on Cursed is fine, right? He has a lot of wave clear, so he always has push on the lane.
I feel like Urel can do so much more in the fights on Cursed, though.
Maybe.
There's so many little walls for her to just pop up from behind and like absolutely ruin the backline with, whereas Leo, I feel like he's much better in open space. Like, Entomb's really good, if you're kind of got no, I don't know. It's still good. It's still good on cursed, isn't it? Let's not pretend it's not. And it's definitely good into a Sonya. Sonya, Johanna. I wanted Johanna. I said the wrong word.
Yeah, Johanna is okay this draft. Doesn't really do a whole lot for now. The Sylvanas is a fantastic pick though.
Yes.
And I'm glad
Possibly
to see her get the respect she deserves.
Could have been picked over the Sonya, and we could have done a little shuffle, and it wouldn't have made anyone sad, would it?
And I'm still smelling a Dehaka on 5.
Could be Dehaka 5.
Baby, one not. Oh, look at it, it's your throw.
There he is.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I feel like...
I don't know if Junkrat's going to do enough.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think if we chill and we wait for Sonya to leave, we might kill her every time.
Yeah.
And she could just not leave, but she might not do that.
Yeah, what happens if Sonya goes Wrath and just kills everything? Okay, it's actually Deathwing on 5.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't like it as much as I would have loved the Haka. That probably just says that Gank Me Baby one more time just does not play the Haka.
I mean, yeah, it looks like neither side are going to be particularly interested in the dinosaur, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't like this Deathwing pick though.
There's a lot of percentage from those last two. I guess Junkrat doesn't do much to him, but
Junkrat doesn't do much to him. You can work on the traps.
Yeah.
But I feel like Leora can throw just drill you in the 1v1. Like you don't win.
And like triple melee versus triple melee, one side has a Leoric. It already looks good for the red team before you look at who the other melees are, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the worst part is like Deathwing kind of falls off a cliff, right? In the middle to late game. Like his scaling is just not good.
Yeah.
And Leoric he'll just be more and more like stronger and stronger as the game continues, and once he hits 20, he will press a Doom and kill 5 people. Okay, 4.
Maybe they spread. Maybe they spread enough that it seems only a double kill.
Okay, maybe just 1 or 2, yeah.
But either way, we're here. It's map number 2. We were cautious about their draft last time, and they showed us up monstrously. Gank Me Baby one more time are bringing you flesh on that Deathwing pickup. We're going to see Johanna being played by Zonk, Asgore on the Sonya, Brightwing being played by Shady, and Warcraft 3 Mouse on Sylvanas.
And on the side of Nordlænningan, who is going to lose the top tower, we have Oldeness on Muradin, Jin on Junkrat, Babyjuice on the Anduin, Zeus on Troll, and running top is Segutten, trying to stop the Sylvanas cheese.
Yeah, Leo 1v4.
Leo 1v4.
He's very 1v4.
You got this, baby.
Oh.
I mean, he got the suck, so he can't lose forever.
Yeah, it's true. Look at this absolute garbage game reading here. Tower clearly still alive as Johanna might actually be in trouble here. Zonk getting
very good mine. He's pretty fine. Segutten is actually overstepping a bit as he loses his drain. And I mean, he gets out. Lucky.
I think deep calculation. Hunker up might.
Deep calculation.
There is still a creep there.
Yeah, the pool was a bit panicky because Junkrat just placed the mana during himself. He was out.
Yeah, but then, you know, sometimes it's better to save them than think they're going to be okay.
I'm sorry.
They're going to lose this full wall, in fact, here, as the early game is really, really strong with this push once they get that sort of momentum going.
Fantastic game reading.
All coming up here now, though, is going to be angry with them. Look at him go. He's cross. He's hidden stuff. He's got that Doomhammer, I think. I played one. I haven't.
I believe Doomhammer is like his clan. Maybe it's also his weapon, though. I guess it's. I guess it's also.
It's a hammer.
Wait,
I don't know.
Maybe it's not his clan.
I think it was a Hearthstone card. That's where.
Yeah,
I'm
it was a
coming
Hearthstone
from.
card. Yeah.
And I think it looked a bit like that.
Sure. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, it's his weapon.
I'm sure that some people in
is
chat are very cross with us.
Oh wait, no, he's a Frostwolf, right? That's why all of his abilities are Frostwolf something. Yeah.
We know all of the lore here. That's why they brought us in.
All of it.
Yeah. Oh dear. I don't know. I can't decide quite how bad I think this is for the blue team. I'm confident I'd rather be on the red team. But the Sylve is nice and kind of not answered.
Yep, and I think honestly I'm kind of more scared of the Sylve, because the red comp really doesn't have a lot of damage before, like, I don't know, level 16 maybe. Unless maybe we walk into 5 people, well, 3. I guess Johanna just died, so
there wasn't actually a healer there.
There wasn't a healer.
And yeah, maybe bribing Zed not quite available, maybe not communicated properly.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I guess Leo does kill Johanna if she's not being healed. That sounds right.
But I'm still actually very not sure how she died though. Because Leo, you know, like his stock is not 100% of max HP. It's like 20, I think.
I think it must have been Johanna expecting Brightwing any second and Brightwing not coming any second, right? Like, it could be comms. Devik has stopped capping for some.
In the meantime, Susanna is going core on top.
Yeah? Yeah, she's picked her lane. What do you think about choosing top over bottom? I was going to ask you that, and then I got distracted by the fight. Because a lot of the old theory was you push the boss lane.
Yeah, I mean, we can see how much damage it does to the fort, right? I guess, sure, getting the boss lane is better, but ultimately you push whatever lanes the enemies are not in, right?
No, but at the start of the game, that you very much you choose, right? Like,
fair.
I mean, maybe there's mind games and upon mind games, but
maybe.
I mean, it worked. Don't get me wrong. It went well for them, didn't it?
Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah. I don't know. I did not think of that. Is my Sylvanas dead? Brightwing Z gets it right on time.
Yeah, we gotta chill now though. We can't keep going into.
Yeah, Aldenus actually jumped in, but we don't have damage.
Yeah, Junkrat with that W build as well. Just he's not built for going in. That's not what he's looking to do. Are they gonna try and get Sonya hit? No, Meriden's changed his mind. It seemed hopeful.
And we can see. I mean, Nordlænningan have lost a fort, an entire bot wall, and a mid tower. We are not 5 minutes in.
No,
so
this
game is looking rough for them.
I do think 10s are going to be very big for them. But then they are quite big for the blue team. Like, Gank Me Baby, they're going to be excited to have lead. Brightwing's going to be very excited to be able to heal people.
And Blessed Shield is...
It's quite good.
But at least, you know, with Riptire and hopefully Sundering, we can kill people.
Yes.
Oh, let's get pulled. He still dies though to the Deathwing, but that was his E, right? I think that's his E.
Yeah, Leo's gonna go down to this Sylve here in the bottom side as well.
Yep.
I think. Nice. Nope, Johanna double kill. Very well played. Just confident Zonk was sitting on that flashlight for the last 5 seconds, waiting for Sylve to get him in range. Don't worry, friend. I'll finish him off for you. Level lead. Maybe. Part of this though is just like the map preference. The blue team have been very good, and the red team haven't felt like they've known quite what to do at all times. Yeah, definitely coming in.
And the Blessed Shield was actually massive. Junkrat, he's 1 HP, gets stunned by the Deathwing, goes down. BB chooses nowhere to go. Aldenus is desperately trying to. Maybe he can jump over the wall. No, maybe he doesn't have jump.
1 second on jump there. And that's a triple kill from a very nice Deathwing fly.
Triple kill, yeah. Very good dive.
Yeah.
That's going to be mid fort going down as well.
Look, and the forts are just weighing them down. They weren't adding value.
I mean, you know, once there is no more fort to lose, it's going to be harder for blue team to get anything out of the many kills that they're getting. Here comes the Entomb on the Johanna. She gets the Brightwing Z. Lots of damage coming in from the troll. Here comes the Sundering. Johanna is still probably dead. Alright, Nordlænningan gets on the board, they get a kill, and they save the mid fort.
They get the tribute off of this as well, and they're running at boss.
Yeah, they're running at the boss.
And they found a Sonya.
Sonya, she has leap, so she should be able to get out of there.
It's unfortunate Murden wasn't with them. If they have Murden for the light bomb, he can follow the leap along.
It would have been actually very funny to see.
But they're gonna get this boss. And I mean, I don't know if it's going to get a full fort, but it's definitely going to start to redress some of the issue. It also means
full forts. There goes mid.
That's true. It is gone. I think the nice thing about this for the red team is now that that one boss is gone, it's much harder for their opponents to generate push threat. Boss trading from a position down in forts never feels good. right? And so the boss trade can't be forced now for another 4.5 minutes. They have to either fight for the top boss or accept like a lack of macro. And the less stuff that happens on the map, the happier Nordlænningan feel, right?
Mm-hmm. Also, we can see Deathwing just stalling the objective for like 10 fucking years. And Nordlænningan, they were 4 on this, so they're kind of losing XP as well. Blessed Shield gets the throw. I think that's probably the throw. Oh, never mind. Here comes the leap.
Oh,
that's unfortunate. That was queued right there.
yeah. I think if it actually was queued in the right spot, he would have got out as well.
Yeah,
He
or
got
if it wasn't
unlucky.
queued at all, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe the
I don't know. I think he might have needed it.
there.
I think he still needed it to get away, but he got unlucky because his cursor wasn't on the hero who wanted it, right? It's past it. It's a lazy Sunder punished by a grip. If he gets a triple hit with that, he probably gets another heal off, and then he's laughing. Can they save keeps?
Still occurs, and yeah, I mean, there's going to be at least one keep down, which is kind of a disaster before the 10-minute mark, and
It's not ideal.
it is
Maybe
not
they can
ideal.
get something here though. They're gonna have an entomb for this Johanna.
Entomb very soon.
W
Maybe.
did
I mean, it's coming.
connect his back in second. So they're gonna, he just
Here's the best shield. It finds the Anduin into the leap, into the Deathwing, everything. BB Juice though, actually standing on the edge of the Deathwing hitbox, and lives to tell the tale.
It's the entomb. He knew he was gonna find his moment.
And somehow Brightwing, I guess she wasn't able to jump out. She didn't have an R anymore. Sonya going down as well. But that's 2 keeps. So
Might
honestly,
actually-
say worth it.
Yeah, well, I think the mid keep is kind of not so big once you have another one, but yeah, this is still good. Even one keep probably would have made it worthwhile.
Yeah.
They're not. The map is so broken for them at the moment that it's hard for them to run at this boss.
Absolute
Sonya's-
shamble, and especially since Junkrat misclicked his level 13, went for the trap talent for whatever reason. Deathwing would just walk into it and block it, by the way. And there are no minions to like walk into the trap in the middle of the map. Like, I think he really wanted the mine level 13 to be able to rotate much quicker and actually clear waves all over the map.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. But then you do have that problem that we talked about for the blue team last time, where your ranged assassin is stuck macroing, and now you've got 3 melees staring down a Deathwing and a Sylph.
Yep.
So there's not a perfect answer.
I think they drafted themselves into this problem though. And we can see that they've been struggling a lot with map assignment, like how quick they managed to lose so many structures to just 1 Sylvanas, despite having 2 bruisers and a Junkrat. I think some mistakes were made there in terms of macro and lane assignment.
I think it's, definitely, you're right. The assignment, the positioning has been the issue. And when you're already low clear and you're not in position in time, you can get seriously punished. Right? They don't have a hero like a Yrel, like a Jaina or a Gul'dan who can kind of turn up to a bad macro situation and instantly fix it. All of
But Junkrat should have been able to do that. Here comes the light bomb onto Sylvanas. It misses. The root also misses, and she has evasive fire on 16. So she's a very speedy girl.
She is fast.
Sonya finds a spear onto Junkrat, but misses the leap afterwards. Anduin is still in no man's land though. Here comes the dragon. They might be out. Blessed shield. I mean, Zonk is stalling very, very nicely here. Nice entomb though from Segutan on the side to stop them from being able to chase.
Yeah, very nicely done. So close to 16 here, the red team, but they don't have it yet, so this isn't really the fight that they want. It feels very unlucky they couldn't connect anything onto that Sylph.
Yeah, but I think it's a miracle that they're out actually. Like they played the escape very well. They were definitely out of position there. They will lose their 3rd keep though, most likely.
16's in now, they can fight properly. Merlin's a little bit lost. The Thunder not available. The Light Bomb's just come back. They are getting some big damage on that Deathwing.
A lot of damage, yeah.
I think that's just 1 W and 1 Thrall button as well. Here comes the Light Bomb and the leap.
But the leap out, and in the meantime, Deathwing is roasting all of them alive. They all stood in the 16 and then spread the explosions, and that's the entire front line of Nordlænningan just vaporized in an instant.
Can't run into a death with him like that, can we? And I think this is it. To be honest, Leo's coming back, but they've got 5 people running at this core and only 2 defenders. Sonya is going to get bullied around, booped a bit, but actually tanking that trap just to show how little she cares. 50% left on the core. Not going to be enough time for the red team to mount this defense. Gank me, baby. 2-0. And this has been a season of 3-0s so far. They can maintain it.
And this one was a brutal. No chance for Nordlænningan to even like actually scale with their heroes. They just lost too fast.
Yeah.
Deathwing Sylvanas have a strong early game, and I guess we know why.
No, incredibly strong there in that early game, right? And I think also able to compound errors of their opponents very well. I do think if, as opposed to taking that boss, they had left one person capping a tribute, they get cursed way later in the game. Deathwing doesn't get to stall them out for like 3 minutes and keep them stuck there, and maybe the momentum carries on. Because it felt like when they won that first fight and took the boss, they should have been able to get themselves 2 or 3 minutes breathing room, and instead they end up cursed, right? And losing keeps.
Yeah, the fight around the tribute also ended in disaster with Troll getting caught. But yeah, I mean, I think Nordlænningan definitely should opt for map picks here and pick some maps where they can have to like play the game without having to worry about lanes being pushed against them.
What's left that's scary? Pass, right? Pass is kind of the only other...
probably Garden as well.
Garden they banned out.
Okay, that's good.
They know their plan, right?
Okay, Dshire then maybe.
Maybe, but I think Dshire is harder to end like this. I think that if you have a strong fight, you can kind of lose Dshire really slowly, as opposed to losing it very fast, like Cursed, right?
That's true. And a lot of team are not very comfortable on Dragonshire. It's a pretty...
I despise the map. Too much thinking. I didn't play this video game to think. That is not why I am here. But no, I think that like you can't beat them like that on towers. You can't beat them like that on Volskaya. You probably can't do that to them on Sky. It's gonna be a map pick. You were right, and they are gonna go to Volskaya. I think it's a good plan for the map. I worry if it's a good plan or not for the series. But maybe you just need to take momentum and say.
Yeah, I think that's good, especially if like if they win this map, okay, and the game the series continues. Maybe they're going to be able to, I don't know, pick up some steam, pick up some confidence, because so far the match has not favored them at all.
Also, if they can find a carry here, something a little bit out of left field that wins them the game, maybe they can complicate the bans a bit for Gank me, maybe, right? If we see maybe like an Orpheus, something left field absolutely pop off for them, then all of a sudden, even though you don't really think it looks good on Autorack, there's a risk that someone on fire who's just absolutely demolished you might do it again.
And you know who plays Orphea in the Nordlænningan?
Who?
It's Zeus, the sub. He used to be an Orphea main. Well, he's very flexible, but Orphea is definitely one of his favorite heroes. So we might see it.
There are definitely some sort of team fight carries. I mean, even if it's not flashy, something like a Nazebo, you could pull out here, you could camp out for 20 minutes, and then Nazebo could kind of like if you have to play against 20 Nazebo and you don't have a clear winning path, that is very demoralizing.
And Nazebo is also a hero that's pretty good into triple frontline, right? You just whip out all of the frogs and...
Yeah, ribbit, mother. Frogger. There you go, I found the segue. I'm still loud, I'm not banned yet. Chance was hovering the mute button over me, but he didn't need it. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think there's 2 very, very different ways of approaching this series, I think. You either go first pick and you say, we have to win on pass to win here, so we're going to try and break them. And if we beat them on their map, we can run map pick all the way back and kind of momentum stall them out. Or you say, we need to fix our own momentum. And I think it's hard to know which one's better, right? I think you have to buy into the choice as a team.
At least Volskaya is a map on which they're confident. I know they like it.
I would be very surprised if we don't see Alterac before the end of this best of 5, unless Gank
we just end
right.
here, yeah.
I'd be very surprised if there's a world where Nordlænningan win and they don't have to win an Alterac game, unless Gank maybe really don't play it. But the way they've played so far and the heroes they've shown, like even their 4-man bruisers are all really good on the camp for Alterac. It feels like they must play the map, right? And it doesn't necessarily look like it's a comfort for our Norwegians. But sometimes it is better to go, actually, no, you know what, we want to at least have won one before we go there.
I just hope that Nordlænningan doesn't get baited into picking Tychus.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Like, Tychus is a hero that looks good into triple front lane, but it actually really is not.
I think I agree. Although, have you ever played solo range Bloodlust Odin? Because that is very fun. I feel like that's probably good into triple melee. It's good into everything.
It's probably even better into not triple melee because you can blast the backline with it.
Yeah, it's better at driving. It's just objectively really good. That's the takeaway that I'm giving you, chat. Just sorry, I have talked about Alterac a lot. This is a Volskaya game. We're talking about Alterac because we're worried that we think that Nordlænningan won't be able to win when we end up on an Alterac game based on how we've seen so far, and because the teams are messing around in the lobby for a bit. It will be Volskaya next. We think Volskaya will be good for Nordlænningan. We hope, right? We reckon that this is a bit more comfortable. It's picked by Nordlænningan. They know what they're doing. They brought us here.
It's definitely more their style.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully we get to see something exciting. The Valàar ban that we saw last time as well. That's telling of a hero that can absolutely rip Volskaya to pieces if given her space. Definitely, I think Gank Me Baby are going to have to play differently, and Nordlænningan aren't. And so we'll see. But you gotta hope, right? If they're gonna win, well, that's a weak statement, isn't it? If they're gonna win, it's gonna start here as they're on match point. Thank you, Louka. What would we do without you?
Yeah, now that you mentioned Orphea, I'm kind of hopeful that Zeus whips it out. It's also pretty good into triple frontline, so.
Yeah, well, only if you hit your buttons. When I play
Surely
Orphea, it's not good into triple frontline.
But I have a feeling that most mages aren't good if you don't hit your buttons.
It's true. Well, actually, I found Kroby to be okay even when I miss everything. You just kind of like you throw Strand at people and hope for the best. Aim is overrated.
Sure, who needs aim? You can just auto attack them anyways.
You just tell them where to be. Or bronze talents. Although you gotta hit.
Bronze. I mean, you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
But you do get the sand echo.
Yeah.
That
you don't
first
have to hit
send
the
for your
right target. You just have to hit literally any hero.
Exactly.
It's usually attainable.
And if you miss your Q, what is to say that your echo won't be better at landing it? You know.
And if you go Q1, eventually you end up with 2 echoes. I mean,
well, but if you miss your Qs, it's a very deep.
Eventually, it takes level 25
26.
to get that quest. Oh dear. But yeah, no. Volskaya, interestingly, we haven't banned the Garrosh yet.
They're just... Maybe they're discussing whether or not they want the Valàar, and then they ban something else. Here's the Garrosh ban. Who could have guessed?
Yeah, there it is. I don't know. I guess I felt like they had a while to chat. Maybe they do the standard thing of nothing useful until the loading button goes, when they suddenly remember that they have to actually draft heroes. And there's the Maiev.
There's the Maiev.
Yeah. So this is the Valàar question, maybe. Are they going to look for that, or are they going to look for a different style?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if they don't ban Valàar now, it probably indicates that they want to first pick it. And maybe then you ban Johanna. Okay, no, they still ban Valàar.
They're not going to play that style.
I hope they ban Sylvanas.
Yeah.
Because they have. Okay, we're banning Sonya.
Ooh,
That's it.
okay.
You've picked it every game. No, you're not allowed anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you showed that you were willing to take it 1-2 to avoid it banning, I suppose. I'm not sure. I think the Sonya has been... I mean, the leaps have been good, but no Syl for you. It's going to be
Falstadable things. I feel like Sylvanas might have been better. Just, if anything, just because she has stronger teamfight power.
I guess 20 Gust is really good, though.
20 Gust is very good.
I go back and forward a bit on Faustad on Volskaya, but 20 Gust is really good. And you do kind of expect to have a 20 team fight on this map, especially if you've remembered to pick a macro assassin, and Faustad is a macro assassin. So, interesting to
Johanna
see.
Rhaegar, okay.
Not going to show our answer. I do think Johanna is a very good tank on Volskaya. I think a lot of the other tanks feel the sort of slowness in a way she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think one of the other really good tanks on Volskaya is Varian.
Oh god, it's a Gazlo angle, okay.
Right.
That's
we might need to
unexpected.
Calm down on actually guessing here. I guess
I was
the
really
real
being like,
question...
Leoric Anduin, we entombed them.
I think the only real question to ask now is it
Why?
the Gravo Bomb, or do we give them the clamps?
I don't know. Neither feel very good here, no? I don't know. Maybe Johanna is good into... I guess it's Gravel Bomb, right? You can't really give them a cleanse into Johanna. But... maybe they can just draft heroes that get out of the Gravo. Like, it can...
It feels, if your plan was to trap 5 immobile heroes in a Gravo Bomb, feels like you should have waited for them to pick more immobile heroes.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if you really do completely mess up your draft and pick 4 or 3 more completely immobile heroes, they have still got Falling Sword.
Indeed.
And Falling Sword 20 is going to save them from Gravo Bomb every time.
Yeah. Even level 10 if she gets it on time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's fine at 10, but it's probably enough for them to actually engage into the Gravo Bomb at 20.
Soto is a good dancer, good, and really likes to play Zeratul on this map. And it would have been pretty good into...
They got 3 heroes that aren't touching a Zeratul.
Yep, and that don't really like being touched by Zeratul.
Yeah, I think the Gazlu is not too terrified, but that's only because he's stood next to a Falstad who is absolutely bricking it. Genji's still up, though. Genji does look
Genji
really
is
good
still
at
up.
what they're doing.
Cassiera, okay. I am not mad at that. Iral actually can create a lot of chaos in fights and really know this. What Gank Me Baby One More Time I've showed, and Cassia Johanna is, I mean, it's a tale all that time, right? They have very good synergy together, and
yeah, no. Not a good blind. They both want to take fights at similar range. Johanna heals quite well for the Cassia.
But what if it's Gazlo Foreman?
It's not.
It's not Gazlo Foreman. I'm
Kind of
disappointed
not like
we
it
have
should
Jaina
be.
instead. I feel like picking J9 to Iral is kind of difficult.
Especially on a map where Jaina is not objectively macro valuable. Like, if it's Tomb, I can understand why you want Jaina so much that you're willing to take that risk, but
Yeah.
why Jaina here? Maybe she's going to land rings that are so good that we'll feel like idiots for asking.
Yeah, and then maybe Iral will press like her
Hey!
level 4. Oh, here it is!
There it is!
He actually called you. Let's go. I think it looks good this game.
Yeah,
It's pretty short range.
I definitely think this is the first draft that the red team have that I don't have a question about.
Yep. Same.
The blue team might not quite hit that heavy height, although Gust is quite good against everything the red team has picked, and it was picked first. So there is that, I guess.
Hand of Freedom in Iral is going to cause some issues, and honestly, this might be a Falling Sword game. I don't say that too often.
I also think it's a really lovely Valk game.
Yeah.
I think you wait for the Aegis, right? And you're just like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
come over here now.
Yeah, Falling Sword, I feel like, they have a draft where, of course, Blessed is always nice, but they also have very independent damage dealers, right?
Yeah, no,
Orphea and...
I do see it. I would say you have to wait, because if it's not Gravo Bomb, then I don't think you get enough from it. But
yeah,
no, we're here. We are, ladies and gentlemen, we're in map 3. It's 2-0 to Gank Me Baby. The curse of the 3-0. Will it remain? Will they take the match here with Warcraft 3 mouse on the Falstad. Muradin being played by that Zonk. Flesh is on Jaina and has got Lingering Chill on one. Oh my god. Shady on the Oriole and Asgore going for Gazlo. And the Rocket Boots 1 do imply. They imply a Gravid Bomb. They don't confirm, but the suspicion.
It's probably a pretty good talent whichever build you go on Gazlo.
Yeah,
I think.
The other build talent would or the other talents, I suppose, but one of them is a bit unpickable. Definitely confirm the other build, but you're not right.
Yeah.
You could still.
But into Johanna either way.
Yeah.
Can't really go for auto attacks. Either way, Nordlænningan real quick. Nujin on Cassia, Aldenus on Johanna, Zeus on his beloved Orphea, Seguton on his beloved Irel, and Bibishus back on Rhaegar. And interestingly, we also something that I wanted to point out in the first game is that Oriel is going for the QCDR. Yes, it's QCDR on level 1, which is not standard. Usually you go the Zap. I love the Zap.
I really like QCDR if I'm in a game where I think they're not going to punish me. You can basically.
Which is not a lot of games.
I agree. Well. Not a lot of competitive games.
By the way. He found the Gabslow stun.
Yeah, he did.
And cleansed from Bibichus a bit too late.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
It's a shame because Orpheus. I'm not an expert, but Orpheus meant to be very strong at 1. Yes. Like she does have some nice late game, but she can be very, very good against tanks who don't have their full kit.
She has a lot of mobility, yeah, but maybe she accidentally missed her Q and couldn't get out of the Gazlow stun.
Yeah.
But I feel like in those kind of situations, you have to scream to your support, "I need fence."
Yeah, but then again, we talked about it a lot at the end of the first game. It's an off-roll healer. Maybe he's not played with an Orphea ever before with that cleanse. They learn, they adapt, they overcome. Zeus doesn't die again. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Also, it's auto attack Falstad yet again. Which again, into Johanna, I always.
It's not impossible that it's a 1 build Falstad.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad.
No,
because you will catch side lanes and bully the Irel 1v1 at 13 and forwards.
He didn't pick the W talent, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, that's definitely a good sign. But I feel like, Q Falstad with the minus spell armor with the Jaina burst afterwards can make somebody disappear, like this Orpheus is looking kind of juicy. Seguton running to look for a gank onto Muradin. He does not have jump, but do we have enough damage to finish him off? Yes, we do. Oriel with her W was barely on cooldown.
Yeah, no, very nicely done there. A very good pick off. A lot of damage that both Cassia and Orphea can do. Right, none of their kits have got any of that wasted power put into CC or survivability. It's all about killing stuff, and they kill stuff good.
We also witnessed Seguton's bread and butter when he plays basically any offlaner, is that he will cross the map and get basically stack some waves to try and get the kill in a 5v5, like in a 5v4, which can work and is punishable.
My two offlaners who I've played with for 5 years now both finish, and they love exactly the same thing with Urel. I think it's a Scandi thing. Just who soaks when you can jump in behind with the goat and kill stuff.
But what if
it's worth.
Yeah, exactly. What if the enemy offlaner says, "Okay, Irel missing, Irel showed mid, run away," and then you just stacked some wave, lost some HP on your fort?
Nah, doesn't happen. This is a hypothetical answer only.
Okay.
Not applicable in real life. That's a Rhaegar flank on a Urel. Who then realized
the cancel with Seguton gets the Muradin jump, and this Muradin might be in deep trouble over here. Here comes the damage, barely not enough. And Seguton now is stuck actually under the fort. Never mind, he's very, very fast with Hand of Freedom. Gets himself out of there.
Yeah, he's out and absolutely fine there. He's going to now dive into this Protector, and an early objective is going to get a wall. It's not necessarily fantastic, but when you look at the late game power that the red team have, you've got to say, anything that isn't your own forts dying in the early game is a win.
Yep. And in the meantime, Orphea is covering bottom, which is very good, because that's a lot of soak that's been lost by blue team. Finally, Gazlo is coming for it, but some of the experience globes, they already shrunk, and they lost the tower on bottom as well.
Yeah. Cassia, though, does look a little bit in danger.
Deep, yeah, that's a 5, like the 4v3, I mean. Okay, never mind.
There's a conveyor belt. He's teleported to safety.
First time we actually enjoy being on a conveyor belt. Ever.
First and last, I think.
First and last. Segutan, by the way, looking for another fight on... Okay. Maybe he has realized that the wave was going to crush into his towers and is running back bottom.
Yeah, no, gotta soak that XP up there. So close to 10. Be interesting
He
to
is
see.
on... Sorry?
Be interesting to see if the Johanna is gonna take her ult or if we're gonna hold it and wait to see.
Oh my god, what is this Jaina level 7? This is illegal. We
This
have
is-
committed a cardinal sin.
This is actually, those are all W build towers.
So okay, so Jaina has officially nerfed herself, so we don't need to be that scared of her anymore.
Yeah.
Blessed
yeah.
shield, by the way, on Johanna, so no.
I mean, it's
Okay,
good,
wait,
right?
here it comes. It's good.
Yeah.
It's always good.
It's not great content.
Good
But other than that, is the Valk as well? Not gonna wait to see in Aegis though.
Goes wide. Yep.
I do think.
Just a trade of cooldowns in the mid lane. ARMing a bit, pressing R all at once, and nobody dies.
That's the plan. There's still a gust, and there is
Yeah,
still a
there's
Grabo bomb.
There's still everything basically for blue team, while red team expanded a lot of things, and they're still looking for a fight.
They just, you know, they back
Got
themselves.
the avatar out of Muradin. I'm not sure why he pressed it, but
You know, finger getting tired. Wanted to be blue for a bit. Many good reasons. The Aegis Valkyrie is a very interesting matchup. It's very much who blinks first loses.
yep.
Any Valk before Aegis is used is worthless because it just gets instantly Aegis if it's dangerous. They don't even travel. But any Aegis before Valk is out is an invitation for a member of your team to join the opponent's team wherever they happen to be, right? And you just
Yeah. They do have some defensive cooldowns even after that, though, with, for example, Gust.
yeah. But Gust is you can't use Gust very well defensively if you're trading, right? Gust either ends the fight or doesn't, whereas Aegis saves someone while you kill someone else.
Yeah.
So it's a bigger commitment to Gust.
Segutan once again looking for a fight on mid. Not going to find anything useful.
Right, what do you reckon? Big Blizzard? Ooh,
Biggest
Zonk.
of all visit.
Ooh,
Yeah, they
shield
got
over
this,
there.
That's a very eager shield. I don't think we have the damage to kill this Muradin.
No.
We even committed
Not
the
ready.
healing beacon.
Yeah.
So honestly, a bit trigger happy on the side of Nordlænningan here.
Yeah, I
They-
think possibly though, we have to say they're 0-2 down, right? This is like the last fight.
Yeah.
And they also kind of weren't allowed to play last game. Game one, they could do some things, but they had to sit there for 15 minutes and watch a team macro around them until they lost.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that they're wanting to fight literally anything and everything in this moment, because they definitely lost the game because they couldn't find enough fights. It's a bit more
And-
complex than that, but yeah, I feel it.
And speaking of getting macroed around, we can see... Oh, barely getting the avatar off. Okay, this Muradin is fine. The Valkyrie is massive though. Oriel has to ult herself. She might just get himself out of here, but Zonk, not so lucky. Or, yeah, very close.
More here
We
with
still
the
have
shield.
Nest Shield. And yeah, that's going to kill the gas load. The Jaina not going anywhere. We do get a trade kill onto the Cassia, but ultimately, that's a nice W for Nordlænningan. 3 kills for 1.
It was almost an absolutely gorgeous turret steal out of the Muradin, but they just... The Oriole got scammed by that Falcon. I suppose, while we talked about who blinks first, I didn't mention if you manage to actually Valk the Oriole then.
She
it's
can
a-
always alt R if she sees it on top of her. She just has to be quick
Yeah.
with it.
Oh, maybe just almost going on a ride.
That would have been very funny.
It is, by the way, Blizzard 13.
I will, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. Don't want to be in big trouble.
I do not speak. I don't know.
I am before.
I guess everyone on the enemy team is short range.
Oh, you know what's good into short range?
Is it
W build.
the ability to
E-build, I mean.
yeah, no, you...
Oh my god. The abscess, no. Never mind.
Chat. Oh, that is a Johanna burning the
That's a
healing thing, and
Johanna
maybe
with
not even
the-
living.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah.
Nice catch by blue team.
we've talked a lot about the blue mage. I'm a little bit surprised that we've got the Eternal Feast coming out from Orpheus.
I mean, yeah, Zeus likes to make a Zeus build. Okay, you go to random.org and then you tell it to give you a random string of numbers and you pick your talents accordingly.
Fair enough.
That's why you have like a weird mix of Q build and not Q builds.
That's true. I've looked at more talents and I'm understanding. So
honestly, worth it. We got Ice Wall out of the Jaina. She's killable now. We'll have 16 and Johanna respawns. Muradin trying to look for a fight before Johanna is back and makes the Cassia disappear. Nordlænningan overstepping. One man down. Sekutan maybe next on the chopping block. Gets his ult and actually successfully baits the Muradin in.
Look at how big that blizzard is, though.
It's the biggest of all blizzards. It's a large indie company.
Indeed. Blizzard now owned by the largest of all the indie companies. Sigurdsson. Oh my! Why? If I'm Faustad, I'm flying on the other side of that URL.
Yeah, he already had input the fly to run to the bot lane, unfortunately. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it would have been a very funny death from Sigurdsson.
But again, like some slightly scrappy moments. Definitely a team who are trying to find their mentor, but the stranglehold of the game kind of continues to live with Nordlænningan there. They're doing all right.
And they have 16 now, aka the Cassia will zap them with a percentage HP damage on attacks, especially when they're blinded, which is perfect because we have a Cassia and a Johanna. Irel also has the super bonk on 16, which is a fantastic power spike.
Such an incredible talent.
Speaking of Irel using her fantastic power spike, she just solo killed the Faustad on bot.
Which is unfortunate if you pick a hero whose main role is to solo the offlaner.
It should not happen.
Yeah.
Especially with Faustad still having Gust up, but very nicely done by Sigurdsson. I don't really know, I wasn't watching, so I don't know how he found that one, but...
He's looking for more.
He's looking for more.
Oh, well, yeah, no, this is there.
They found him though.
Tell you what, we talked a bit about the Oriole one. Whilst I do like the CDR, I am surprised to see it without any more Q support later on.
Yeah. Like the blinds into Cassia would have been useful, yeah.
AoE 4, blind 13, Orphea as well, is going to get caught in some of those blinds and is going to care.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, I think this was definitely a blind game, like especially with like this level 13. I feel like it's very flashy when you proc it, but if you proc it like even once a game, you're very happy.
Yeah.
So I'm not very convinced. And also Jaina went for the root on 16, which is a good talent in a vacuum, but into an Irel, it's not that good.
Yeah, without any of the other E-support. There you go, there's his one proc. I didn't get a kill though. Oh, does it get a kill? Yeah, it did. I lied.
So, it's okay. It's okay. 1v9 talent, perfect. That's a huge blast though by Johanna. Gets the Jaina under towers. The Oriole healing though.
Yeah.
Ready good.
Good turret.
The good is.
Oh my god, that W
level 16 is it's something.
What is that?
And is he out though? He's not out. He's very much not out. Jumps. He doesn't manage to get over the wall and he goes down. That's a lot of kills given back to Gank Me Baby one more time, and basically all of the level lead from Nordlænningan absolutely evaporated.
Yeah, no, definitely. They've got a little window. They're going to lose top, so actually the first board of the game is going to go down. But I think, if we're honest, midway through last game we were thinking just lose your building slow so that you can fight at 20. And they've still achieved that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we thought it was going to go better for them, but I'll semi-coaching advice of getting a stable late game, they've achieved, right? Even if that one moment wasn't great.
I wonder what level 20 the Cassia will go for. If she's going to go maybe for the insta armor talent, so that if she gets stunned by Muradin on Irel, she can still live, but just pressing a button. Okay, no, she's going for the 20 Valkyrie instead.
Ooh.
which is good if you land the Valkyrie.
Yeah, I suppose with the Aegis, theoretically, you expect to land every Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And maybe the target that gets Aegis, the team tries to step up to defend, and now they can't really even do that.
But so far, we haven't really seen any Valkyries to punish the Aegis being pressed.
We haven't really seen any. Like, they've all been really unstructured, the fights.
Yeah.
It looks like that's going to continue as Sagutin's been caught out 13 seconds away from his ult. That is dead goat.
Unfortunate, especially since he had his 20 unstoppable.
Yeah.
Maybe not fast enough with his level 7 hammer. Raising it, but not actually. Not raising it high enough to get out of there. His ult is just dead here. Okay, gets insist ult.
Yeah, the fort is forfeit. Oh, a big wind tunnel into a random Gaslow bomb.
Yep, and here's the other Gaslow bomb, and Nordlænningan have disappeared from our screens, and this might just be the game, honestly.
They
That's
still have a keep up. There's 5 members.
yeah, but they have no more heroes. The W range actually.
Yeah, wouldn't have got out without it, although...
Zonk is... Oh, Aegis, is it enough?
He's got the 75 armor.
Oh, the 75 armor buys barely enough to keep him alive. Irel is respawning, but you can see again a mistake, right, by the Norwegian team. Not only did they like getting caught twice in a row, but then still stepping up after the Irel got caught on camp and getting massively punished for it with this beautiful gust from Mouse.
Yeah, Urella is going to buy a little bit of time, but has she got 20 seconds in her? It's going to be really tough. Sagutin's going again. Zonk's just getting the CC though, and that is going to be dead, Urel.
It doesn't even have time to press his ultimate, and that's going to be a quick 3-0.
Oh. Been incredibly clean from Gank Me, baby. Well, all of that discussion of Alterac Pass and just amazing. Don't we look like fools now?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because they had the game for a good portion of it, and they just ended up throwing their lead.
Yeah, I think a little bit of inaccuracy in that 16 to 18 range, throwing a lead, and then you can't at 20s ever be that far on the map if you've lost someone. You've just got to say, let them have the outers for a minute, right? You've kept your forts longer than you're meant to have them already. Let them go down, wait for your elf to come back, and then take a strong fight, because I do think they had a better team fighting comp, but in the end, Gank Me Baby, one more time, are fantastically our winners. And you have to say, we've maybe not talked about them as much this time, because they just, it's been very little to say. They've been really good. They've been really quite clean. They've been very engage heavy with the gusts and with the leaps, and I think that they've made it work for them incredibly well.
They absolutely deserve this win. They were just clearly the better team today. Like both in macros and in team fights, they were just better in every step of in every aspect of the game. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, no, very, very well played. And I think as well with like the decisiveness of their decision making was possibly one of the big deciding factors. I'm hoping our little production bot is sorting ourselves a little interview. We're probably going to have them come in and talk to us very soon. So we'll be thinking up some very intelligent questions for them, I'm sure. If you've ever seen a Heroes Lounge interview before, you'll know that they are the most intelligent of all the questions. But while we wait on them to decide exactly how they want to tell us about all our brilliance, we should quickly do a little PSA. This is, of course, Division 3 that we've just watched. We've got 3 winners now. Gank Me Baby one more time were our winners to date. I should probably have prepped for this bit, given that I decided I was going to say it, but that's not really my style. Division 4, of course. Yesterday, that was the Renai clan. And Division 5, our winners were Nexus Most Wanted, all 3 of them now Hall of Famers forever. Renai clan, by the way, yesterday, if you didn't catch it, won their first ever cup after 8 separate cup appearances, and 15 between the 2 finalists, and neither of them had won a cup, so that was monumental for them, I'm sure. Tomorrow will be Division 2. That'll be brought to you Not by Valàar anymore.
Lion Lad and Samu.
Lion Lad and Samu will be bringing you that.
Yeah.
And then Monday, Sunday. Sunday is where the last two finals are. I've got the upper one with the lovely Transparent, and I believe Valàar has the lower one with Samu?
It's Lion Lad, I believe.
With Lion Lad. Okay, so you will be seeing a lot of Lion Lad over that weekend, I am sure. We haven't done very well on Finning, so also you can see on our screen right now, I'm sure that I'm not being hinted at all, Heroes 10th signups are live. That's going to be shorter, so even if you're like, I'm not sure I've got time for a regular season, you have no excuse. It's just going to run a bit over the month of May, and then the playoffs are, I think, just after the month of May, starting in June. I don't have it in front of me. But you need to be signed up by April 30th. That is 5 days time. It's a Wednesday, I believe, the 30th. So this is the last weekend. Get yourself sorted out. Sign yourselves up. I'm sure we are about to be joined by the wonderful Gank Me Baby one more time. They're going to be rocking in, and we're going to find out what they thought about this wonderful grand final appearance. And thankfully, one of the more dominant final showings, it has to be said. They're not ready yet. I did my best.
They're still celebrating. They're quickly putting away the champagne.
Oh dear. You can only feel for so long before you've got to throw your hands up and go, team, I tried my best. Here they come. Here we go. I lost faith too early. Ladies and gentlemen, the members of Gank Me Baby one more time will be joining us very shortly. But before we hear from them and their absolutely fantastic words of brilliance, we're going to hear from the man, the myth, the legend himself. Some say that he single-handedly built Heroes Land from the dust and that it wasn't Petman at all. They're wrong. It's Transparent.
Louka, that is not correct at all, but thank you very much. I've got to sort out the echo in my own head. Let me just...
He'll be with us very shortly to talk about the fantastic...
I've sorted it out. Thank you very much, Louka. Yes, a big congratulations, of course, here to Gank Me Baby one more time. You are the champions of Division 3 here of Heroes Land Season 26. We will, of course, be sorting out a small token of victory. You are the champions. Of course, commiserations to Nordlænningan, as they did so well here tonight. And the 3-0 scoreline once again doesn't really show the whole story. There were so many times where they were inches away from something, especially in this last game. And we know that maybe if they won that one, we could have been seeing many more games tonight. But of course, our champions were Gank Me Baby one more time. A big shout out, of course, to Louka and Valàar here, who... I've been casting, as well as Smokey, who's been doing the admin for today, and all our moderators who, to be honest, they do so much work keeping the league alive, helping with those sub requests, and just the general heartbeat of the league. And it doesn't go unnoticed by many of us, but I know it is very much a hidden thing for everyone else who doesn't get to see how much work they actually do. So big thank you to all of those. And of course, a little thank you to the rest of the members of the stream team for pitching in. But once again, a big congratulations to Gank Me Baby one more time. Louka, Valàar, you must have some questions for our champions. Please take it away.
I have a question. Can start things off. So you can, if we retrace your journey through Division 3, we can see that like the group phase, especially the beginning, was a bit timid from you, I would say. Like you ended up qualifying with a 6 out of 10 record, but then you completely walked over the playoffs by just dropping a single map in 3 best of 5s. So what changed? What clicked?
Thank you guys for shoutouts. And so on. Well, yeah, we just mentioned it after the last game. It's kind of funny. I think that at the beginning of the season we have quite a lot of changes in our roster. We don't have like 5 or 6 people who are playing over and over, but we were changing quite a lot. And I think that at the end of the season, we kinda managed to get like 6 people who were playing more frequently, and yeah, I think that it worked out.
Look, it's your turn.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, it did feel like it came together really well in the end. You seem to be really big fans of some heavy alt-based engage comps. I was just wondering if there's anything in particular that you've enjoyed playing with that Sonya, with that Falstad style. Is it something you've been playing a lot, or is that a particular cook that you brought up for the final?
Not really. That we particularly prepare something for finals, but I think also that the 6 players that actually ended up playing at the end of the season, we were playing on our strong champs, which actually have these kind of potentials of great engage wombo combos and so on. So yeah, we just put together champs that we know a bit how to play, and yeah.
No, fair enough. I think comfort sometimes is a sensible way to go, especially when you're sort of new as the 6 that are playing. And I think we saw the power of comfort there. Some of the things we saw might not necessarily have been S tier, what the meta expected, but your ability to execute, your ability to bamboozle us in draft must have bamboozled your opponents easily as much.
Well, yeah. Like I think in draft you saw that we kind of stick with the 2 bands, so we know, or actually we did some, we watched the match history of.
Prep, yeah.
Yeah. It's very important to say that enemy played some kind of some exact playstyle which we don't want to play against. It seems that they like to play hyper carry Valàar or garage throw and isolate one target, and we don't want to play against that. And the rest, I think, our comps, our champs that we are familiar with, are good against the other compositions. So yeah, that was the draft strategy and thinking about our drafting here.
Wow. Thank you very much. I do have one last question that if I don't ask it, I'll never be forgiven. W Jaina.
It was not
Where?
W Gina. If it will be W Gina, I will go 16 now.
That's true. You did bottle it at the end. What prompted you? What did you see that made you think Blizzard?
He's an enjoyer, and you can't do anything against it. Specifically in the lobby, right before, after we picked the last champ, I was like, Flash, come on, you are not playing W, right? And he was like, no, I am playing this, and I will enjoy it very much. And I'm like, what can we do with this type of guy? So we went ahead with it, and wow, it just turned out great anyway. So yeah, very happy about it.
Well, yeah, it's my favorite talent build in Jaina, and yeah, I like the cooldown reduction and resets on W, especially with 13. You can very easily follow engages from your tank and be safe, from a very afar, or you can either set up the engage for your tank. So that's why I like this composition, and with the root on 16, yeah, I like it, but I know it's weird. Lots of people in Storm League were complaining when this talent.
People in Storm League will complain about anything.
And on top of that, we were like, it's against double blind. You can't go for it. And he's like, no, I am going for this. So yeah, but it's true that he's very safe from afar. So that's nice actually for the mage.
Yeah,
Sounded to me like we're just calling out our tank for engaging too far out of Jaina's range. That's my takeaway there.
Yeah. So just get more range.
Too far out of Jaina's range is not very far though.
Yeah, especially if we have Zonk on tank in team. Really long range for follow-ups.
Well, thank you very, very much, guys. It was lovely to watch you, and I think you did incredibly well out there today. At the end, it didn't quite look like your opponents could contest. So the floor is yours. Have you got any final thoughts you want to say? Any final shout-outs? Any final Icy Veins pages about why WJNer is the real way forward? Share them with the people. What have you?
Yeah. I will print it on my T-shirt. Big shout out for you guys actually from Heroes Lounge. Like incredible respect for your job and work to keep Heroes Lounge alive. I'm very grateful. We were playing the Heroes Lounge like I don't know, like for 4 or 5 years, and it's really big fun and keeping the HOTS alive. So from me, big shout outs to you guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's very much the same. I want to join Flash shout outing you, the Heroes of the Storm, the Heroes Launch team, because it's just amazing that this show is still running, and it's just so nice to still gather with the friends and talk about drafts, talk about HOTS. It can get quite sentimental at times, but it's still going on, and that's what's important. Still bringing fun and joy to the casuals. So once more, many thanks.
And also a big respect for our opponents and all of other guys playing here. So, like without it, it won't be that fun and competitiveness.
Well, thank you very much, guys. A massive congratulations to you. Obviously, this isn't the last you will see of Louka. He's coming back on Sunday for the Division 1 Plus. Final Valàar will be back on Sunday for the Division 1 lower final. It's not 1 Plus. I'm saying the wrong thing, chat. I don't know why they let me do these things. There will be more Heroes of the Storm tomorrow. There'll be more Heroes of the Storm tomorrow. Right here at almost the same time, Division 2's grand final will be happening. There is a semi-final for that kicking off right now, though I don't think you can watch it, which is a real shame. Kitty Cat Crusaders sometimes just win competing to play against arm wrestlers, and then other things are locked in now as Names Overrated will be taking on Bobby Kotick Fan Club in that lower final. The result of the other one hasn't been uploaded, and I didn't finish watching Baha's stream last night, but someone in chat
I believe Gallenbanger won.
Gallenbanger will be taking on Team Cat Blue to try and do the repeat victory of Division. Well, I guess they won 1 Plus before and 1 now. You decide if it's how many.
I believe in Team Cat.
I think it's the first time they haven't been played by the fan club in the finals for a little while. There
was Villain Raider at some point, but maybe I'm too far back in the past.
Maybe, yeah. But no, definitely Cat Blue or a Cat team, I don't think have made it to a one final for a little while, so should be really good for them. Exciting.
Yeah, but this time they just slapped the Team Cat name on the team with.
Hey, they're a Cat team. Don't fight it. They're part of the org.
They're part of the org.
They got the name.
Very happy. It's on Liquipedia actually. Which I find hilarious. But...
I don't know what you mean. They're all ex-Team Cat players, I'm sure. But they are at least mostly French? No?
Well, not Team Cat Blue, at least, to my knowledge. Like, they have, Dino, Captain Rex. They got Masquerade. Basically, it counts. It's French. Is
Nagrom not French? I thought Nagrom was French.
Nagrom is French too, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. They got some French. Can the French team take on the German team and upset? That's the question we're going to be asking on Sunday. I will pause that narrative until I get told I'm wrong. I'll keep doing it. Who are we kidding? Chance wants to go to bed. So it is time for us to say goodbye. We've talked for long enough already. It's been lovely. I have a lovely evening. Congratulations to our winners and best of luck to those coming up over the weekend. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye.